Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Thursday, July 11th, 2024 by Gaia Blooming. I'm Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I nurture my inner child. And today we have a planetary shift. We have Venus moving into Leo at 9:19 a.m. Pacific time. Before that, Venus will be making a trine with Neptune, which is an interesting energy. And after moving into the sign of Leo, it's going to be building to an opposition with Pluto, which will be happening Friday morning. But these combinations can pack a little punch. That Neptune piece definitely can bring karmic relationship lessons to the surface. And that Pluto opposition can bring up a little push and pull, some power struggles, which are both interesting things in any ongoing relationship or any even new relationships. Now, the interesting piece is sandwiched in between these energies is Venus at 0. And I feel like when Venus is at 0, it doesn't have as much grace, which means we don't have as much patience. We may not be quite as ready to nurture ourselves or others, and our inner child may be throwing some fits. So do watch for that energy. That being said, let's talk about some of the fun of Venus and Leo. Venus moving into Leo is time to summon your inner monarch, your inner queen, your inner king, your inner queen, whatever you want that to be. But summon a magnanimous monarch energy. Remember your divine inherent spiritual royalty. And it's one that makes you very kind. It's not a elite one. That's actually what I was thinking about. I was like, I feel like, Leo can bring up ego, but Venus in Leo doesn't feel so much like ego. It feels more like pride. And there's a song that popped into my head that is called Love Has No Pride. And it's not about having pride in yourself or not having pride in yourself, but it's when we let pride block our heart light, when we let pride block the heart energy, the love energy. And so we want to be aware of that pride energy with Venus in Leo. Of course, have pride in yourself. I think that's part of good Leo energy, but it's noticing where it edges on that negative ego energy. Venus in Leo is a time to get creative. It's a time to play. It's a time to reparent wonderfully your inner child in a way that you felt that you could have benefited from being parented. Venus in Leo is a wonderful time for romance and fun and creativity to blossom in your life. But again, watch for the pride energy. Oh, another thing came up very strongly when I was looking at this astro energy. So this energy is also paving the way for a Mars retrograde coming later this year. So pay attention to the lessons, especially the challenging lessons that come up during the beginning of this transit. Mars will be retrograding in the sign of Leo and moving back into Cancer later this year. So this could give you a little advanced warning, especially if you find yourself feeling challenged in nurturing your playful inner child. If you have inner child wounding coming up, if you have blocks to your creativity coming up, these may be things that can really be addressed when Mars goes through a retrograde, like I said, later this year. What else do we want to talk about for Venus in Leo? Dress up. Dress up. I tried to make my hair nice. It's not loving the humidity and the weather currently, so whatever. My hair expresses where my Leo's at. My Leo's like, what is this weather? Too much. Anyway, but even just finding the part of yourself that shows you're Leo. We all have these energies somewhere within us, somewhere within our chart. Even if you don't have a planet in Leo, you have a 5th house, and there is a place that it is represented in your chart. So notice what's showing up as Leo. And my ego was like, well, show must go on. The hair's going to do what it does, right? So Venus and Leo, check that energy and see if you can play with it. See if you can have fun with it. See if you can bring it closer to the heart instead of over-mentalizing it. That's the joy of Leo, is connecting to the heart-based energy. Make time for art. Make time for beauty. Make time for love. Over this next, essentially a month. It takes Venus about a month to move through a sign. Now, besides this energy today, we have a lot of other spicy things. Like I said, Venus, before shifting, will be connecting to Neptune. Watch for those karmic relationship lessons and watch for the building tug of war for Friday's energy. We also have the moon moving into Libra later in the day. So definitely going to be having relationship lessons come up. Relationship lessons, but also relationship reflections. Keep that in mind because it's so easy to point the finger, but sometimes it's good to be like, what is this reflecting at me? What is my part in this dance and duality? The moon in Virgo will be connecting to Uranus. Maybe a little bit of triggery energy popping up. It feels like an interesting day. It definitely feels like an interesting day. Let's see what my cards said. I didn't even look at these. So a little aloneness, maybe a little lonely time. And maybe sometimes this is how our inner child feels with us when we forget to check in with this energy. And yet here we have right after that isolation, this beautiful Fool energy, creating a new path, creating some change and shift. You get to change your life by how you can reflect on it, how you can think on it. And maybe you can bring a little heart, a little bit of Venus and Leo, fun, playful, and even a little divine royalty energy to the table and see how that shifts things. I do have the dream card in reverse. So I would say, again, with Venus at 0 and building to this opposition with Pluto, and even the moon meeting with Pluto today, it might not show up how you want it to yet. The rebirth process is still booting up for this change, for this Fool card. So work on your own self-reflections. Work on filling up your own love bubble in this energy. And know that this energy does have some power to generate some lovely, heart-centered change. I'm going to leave that there. So you can book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com for that. And the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and remember who you are, for you are the solution. Namaste.